Hey, Roberto Monaco here with the Chiro Speaking Company, the Chiro Speaking Club. And today I have an awesome leader to introduce to you, Dr. Jennifer Hastings. How's it going?
Doing awesome. Happy to be here with you.
I'm so excited. For those who don't know Dr. Jennifer, she's an amazing person. When I say amazing person, I'm telling you, she has the biggest heart ever. I had an opportunity to connect with her, I think maybe, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah. Three to 4 years ago.
And then I become friends. She's an amazing doctor out in South Florida, in Miami area. And she has a big heart, awesome chiropractor. Oh, hold on. I forgot to recording. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Roberto Monaco here with the Chiro Speaking Company and the Chiro Speaking Club. And today I have an awesome leader to introduce you, Dr. Jennifer Hastings. How's it going, Dr. Jennifer?
Doing awesome. Happy to be here with you.
I'm so excited. Dr. Jennifer and I, we know each other for 3 years, almost 4 years. She's an amazing leader, amazing doctor of chiropractic. She practices in South Florida. And today's conversation is about charisma on camera. And the reason I invited Dr. Jennifer is because she's been doing TV for 10, not 1, not 2, not 3, 10 years. And I highly encourage you guys to go and watch some of her clips on YouTube. And she'll be talking more about that later on. But she has an amazing charisma, amazing personality. And I think comes from your heart, because your heart's all in to serve people. So welcome, Dr. Jennifer.
Thank you. It's always great to be here with you. And I'm glad to be able to contribute to the mission of speaking.
That's it. And today the context here is speaking in front of a camera, and I know you do a lot of TV, you do videos too. So tell us a little bit about your journey using video and being for 10 years on TV and spreading the message of chiropractic.
Yeah. So, how it all started, actually, I could say my speaking career actually started when I was a chiropractic assistant. I started out as a patient. When I realized this was my calling, I became a chiropractic assistant. And there was a meeting that you actually came to a couple of weeks ago called Saturday Night Live in South Florida.
Yeah.
And I used to come to those meetings as a chiropractic assistant. And at the beginning of a meeting, one of the doctors came up to me and he said, well, when the meeting starts, we want you to get up in the front of the group and speak and tell us your story. Tell us how you got into chiropractic. Tell us what's going on as a chiropractic assistant. And my heart froze because I was a total introvert. Speaking in front of people is not my thing. I was the quiet, shy girl. As a matter of fact, in high school, my nickname was Wednesday. Do you know Wednesday from the Addams Family?
No.
So it's a girl that's very quiet, walks around like this. She used to always be dressed in black. And so that used to be my nickname because I was always very serious and introverted.
Wow, I didn't know that about you.
That was me. But so when I got asked to speak, I was deathly afraid. And I said, oh, no. I am not getting up there and talking. And one of the doctors, Dr. Paula, came up to me and she looked at me in the eyes and she said, when you're asked to speak, you speak. When innate and universal intelligence asks you to speak, you need to speak. Doesn't matter if you know what you're going to say or you're not going to, or you don't know what you're going to say. You have to get up there and speak. And so, her level of assertiveness called upon me to get up there and speak. And so that was actually the first time that I got up there and spoke about the story of chiropractic. And so years later, anytime I would get asked to speak, and somehow the universe works in such a way that I am asked to speak at the last minute, many times. So, there was a moment that a girlfriend told me that she was going to create a women's conference, and she said, I want you to be one of the speakers. And I said, sure. I didn't know how big it was going to be. I didn't know how serious it was going to be, but I just said, sure, because I learned to start saying yes to every speaking opportunity. And we're going to cover that when we talk about some tips.
Mm-hmm.
You need to speak, whether you're speaking to 2 people, whether you're speaking to 2,000 people or 2 million people on TV, you need to speak. So I got up in this conference and I spoke, and because I did not know about the structure and I did not know about a powerful close, I spoke and I gave lots of amazing information. But at the end of the day, I didn't close people to come to my practice. Now, these were 400 of the most powerful businesswomen in South Florida.
Wow.
So it's amazing. Imagine even if I had 100 of those as patients, if I would have closed properly. But that did open, although I didn't know how to close to get people to my office, and people did come and make appointments and everything. But out of 400, I didn't convert the many that I could have to transform their health. I did touch somebody's life with my authenticity and from speaking from the heart. And this woman was the author of a book. And she, you know, we exchanged numbers. She came to my table. She lived 2 hours away from where my practice was. And she just, you know, she came and gave me a hug and she said, everything that you spoke about is what I wrote about in my book. You know, we'll stay in touch. Well, a year later, this woman called me and she said, I really, you know, respect you a lot. And they called me to speak about my book on TV, but I don't speak Spanish. So will you please go and speak about my book on TV?
Wow.
What do you think I said?
Yes. I love it.
Perfect. Go ahead.
What's the book about, by the way?
The book was about food addiction, which technically I'm not a counselor. I don't know anything about food addiction. So I told her, I said, go ahead and mail me the book and I'll read it and I'll do the TV segment.
That's a lot of courage right there.
Yeah. Well, the funny part is she said, I can't mail you the book. The TV segment is in 2 days. I said, oh my Lord. Okay. So I said, let's schedule a conference call. Tell me about your book. And then what I'll do is I'll go and I'll do the segment. So she told me about her book. You know, I learned about food addiction, emotions. I coupled it with chiropractic and subluxation and emotional stress and disconnect. I get to the TV show. And right before we walked into the studio, I told the producer, I said, if I make a mistake, can I say cut or do you guys say cut? And she said, have you watched the program before? And I said, yeah, I've watched this program since I was a little girl. And she said, well, it's live TV, so you can't say cut. So needless to say that thank God I loved riding roller coasters. Thank God I love the rush of surfing, because to me, that's what gave me the courage to continue doing TV, is just riding a roller coaster. That adrenaline rush and just going out there. And although I was afraid at the beginning, and it's, you know, you always get that adrenaline rush, is an opportunity to educate millions of people in a matter of minutes. So I started out by speaking in a small group and just having the courage every moment that I was presented to speak, whether it was within 5-minute notice, whether a 2-day notice for live TV, or a month's notice, just taking every opportunity on to speak. That's how it started. That's
beautiful. That's powerful. What's fascinating, I didn't know, because you're very charismatic, both in person and camera and when you speak. I didn't know that you were shy before, that you didn't talk to many people. Interesting, very interesting. So in the topic of charisma, how would you define charisma in your own words? What charisma means to you?
I would say charisma is authenticity and coming from the heart. You know, when people really get that, you know, a lot of times when we come from the head and want to give all this information to people, we forget that at the other end is a human being. And it's a human being that they will absorb things a lot more effectively if you actually connect from the heart and if they understand that you truly care. You know, one of the things that happens to us is a lot of times within everything that we have going on in our heads and in our lives, we can wear different suits. And sometimes we walk up there and we might be wearing the doctor suit. And we might come across as a doctor. And we might always be doctors, but a patient, a person, a human being is going to connect a lot more to that doctor or that person that's communicating a message if they know that you're coming from the heart, just like you. You know, you're not just doing your job as a trainer, but you truly care about people being able to share their message and impacting people with their mission. So charisma, I would say, is coming from the heart, being authentic. And one of the things that I do when I'm in a TV studio, you know, and there's 3 to 5 cameras, there's people running around in the background, you know, they're starting to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you know that in a matter of seconds, millions of people are watching you. And if you make a mistake, there's no turning back. You know, I just start to think about all the men and women behind those cameras. I visualize those cameras as those people. And I speak into the camera as I'm talking to the person. And I have to forget about me and my fears. And I'm thinking about who's at the other end and connecting with them from the heart. That's beautiful. And for those who know you, you're 100% all heart. And we're very grateful for it, super grateful for it. Thank you. So what are some tips as far as if someone has for example, I have a little bit of TV experience, not in your level. I've done
maybe 10 shows down in San Diego. And so from someone who has been for 10 years on TV, and your stage is bigger, the TV shows that you were, what are some tips that you can either someone can use if they have a TV show, or if they want to record video doing a Facebook Live or YouTube video? What are some tips that you want to share?
Yeah, so one, there's a couple of things. If you are doing TV, whether it's live or not live, something as simple as preparing your time management of when you're going to get there, how you're going to get there, being there early, especially with live TV. If you happen to it's happened before where you're driving down the highway and you encounter an accident. And it's not.
It's stress.
TV, yeah. And so with TV, every millisecond is actually managed. So you have to make sure that you plan ahead of time. I always, if I'm ever doing a new studio, I've done both live and pre-recorded where it comes out a month later. Even though when it's a new studio, I will actually drive to the studio before the day of the show, whether it's a week before, whether it's a couple of days.
Nice.
Route to know where parking is going to be, because there are times that if you're all dressed up, and I've already learned my lesson, you guys know about this,
and you have makeup on,
you're wearing heels, and then you're driving from you're parked 2 blocks away, because some of these studios are huge and their parking lots are huge. You're parked 2 blocks away, and now you got to go in heels. No, wear flats. So, one of my favorite chiropractors said one quote one day, and I'll always remember that: proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. So preparing, getting to know the studio. A couple of other things is practice. I practice the day of. I will practice in the shower. I'm taking a shower and I'm just reviewing everything in my head. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking at how my hand language, my body language is doing. Even if it's not the full presentation, I will practice a couple of minutes with my husband and just say, hey, listen to this for 2 minutes, and I'll get some feedback. Something as, okay, what is my posture like? Am I communicating effectively? If you don't feel comfortable with how you speak, I've actually hired I don't know how to call it in English, but a verbalization coach.
Okay, yeah.
I
think it was they call enunciation coach.
Enunciation coach.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yes, exactly that, enunciation. I knew the word in Spanish, but yes.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, and I was watching, you do TV in both languages too, right?
I do.
That's even more impressive. That's
Absolutely.
So impressive.
Absolutely. And that's why I said, can I say cut if I make a mistake? Because I speak Spanglish really well. But you want to learn to, properly communicate. Also, train watching your videos. That's that I actually do on a regular basis. I am a member of Chiro Speaking Club. I listen to you in the mornings, whether I have a doctor's report that day or not. Every moment that we're with another human being, we're communicating.
100%.
So communication, the more effective we are in communication, whether it's on TV or on radio, the more effective we could be at reaching millions with our communication. Start with the end in mind. I say this all the time. When you're doing a presentation, when you're doing TV, when you're doing a radio show, start with the end in mind. Why? Because if not, we're just going to ramble on. And then the end comes and you are not prepared to say, hey, give us a call, or this is what I want you to do, take action. So start with an end in mind when you're preparing your TV presentation.
Okay, a quick question on that topic. I know we do a lot I just saw a picture of you speaking at church last week, and I think I was super proud of you, right? And I know we do a lot of live workshops for South Florida. When you prepare, what has been things that you keep in your mind when you say, okay, how would you prepare differently if you're doing a presentation on TV versus a presentation in a group? How is that different in your mind?
How is that different?
Is that maybe the size of the content, maybe less? Do you prep less content? You're speaking more sound bites. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you go about the preparation?
Yeah, so with TV, one is you want to be in regular communication with the producer. Don't be shy. One of the things that happens with producers is they're very limited in their time, and they speak to you, they text you most of the time, and they're always to the point. But if you have any questions with TV, contact them. Ask them, okay, how much time do we have? Create a bullet point of that and review those bullets and memorize them, whether it's 5 bullet points. Use your hand to memorize, use your bullet points in your hand to memorize, because you will not be able to have paper on TV. For TV, one of the things that I love to have is props. For live more, but for TV, they focus on those props. It's a lot harder to move around and walk around. For live presentations, I prepare on my body language and how am I going to engage the audience to keep them connected.
Great distinction. I love that. Great distinction.
Yes. So it's 2 different things.
Yeah.
To keep people engaged on TV, you have props. You show them whether it's a spine, whatever you're talking about, you want to have props, and the cameras will actually focus on the props. One of the key things I got from from one of my coaches, because every now and then I hire the enunciation coach. I have a patient that's an actor that I was starting to do a couple of shows on a row, and I wanted to make sure that I would really provide for the TV network what they wanted from me.
Okay.
And so he said, he gave me a $1 million tip, Roberta.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I have my notebook here.
So when you're doing TV, a lot of times you want to own connecting with the camera. And that's something that you want to do with practice. And as you're practicing doing YouTube videos, you actually get to do that. When you're on TV, if you're doing a TV with a host, they tell you just talk to the host. Well, what's happening when you're talking to the host? There's a camera behind the host and they're getting you, but you're not connecting eye to eye. People don't feel you unless you're connecting eye to eye. So,
I see. So basically, you're connecting to the host, you're not looking to the camera directly, but you are, because there's a camera behind the person.
Yes.
I get it.
But if you really get comfortable and you know which camera's on you, what you actually want to do is you want to take the time to look at the camera, and you want to take the time to connect with the camera and show them whatever you're doing, or just talk directly to the camera and connect from the heart.
So how do you connect with the camera? So because this is like I think that's the secret sauce, right? So what is the mental gymnastics or visualization that you do? Okay, now I'm gonna connect to this camera. How do you go about connecting?
So you want to know which camera is on you, and one is they'll have the lights on top. And once you learn to read the cameragraphers, they'll also point at the camera. But who I look at when I'm looking at the cameras, I'm looking at my mom. And I'm thinking, this is my mom I'm speaking to, because I feel profound love for my mother. My mother worked very hard in her life. You know, she could have benefited from chiropractic care, from many years ago. And so when I look at the camera, I'm looking at a person that I love and I'm speaking to them, versus thinking, okay, this is the camera and there's millions of people behind there. So you want to speak to the camera like you're speaking to somebody that you care about.
That's beautiful.
And so when they invite you to the studio, they have you connect to the presenter. You want to learn how to connect with the camera, because the more you speak to the camera focuses on you. And that's time that when the camera focuses on you, it's you solely on the air. And so that was like $1 million tip that I didn't know, because every time I'd walk into the studio, they'd say, just talk to the presenter, just talk to the presenter. And once I started to own that, I have more one-on-one with the camera. I love that.
Yep. I love that. Thanks so much for sharing that. Dr. Jennifer, you're awesome. I'm a big fan. I can't wait to have your own TV show,
Maybe someday, yes.
Someday, you're going to have a lot of followers for sure, because you have such a beautiful heart and you love to help people. So if anybody in chiropractic, our members, non-members want to reach out, say hi, what's your Facebook page or YouTube channel? There's anything that people can plug in?
Yeah, so you can always find me on Facebook. It's Jennifer Hastings, DC. And so that's the best way to find me. You could always message me through there. My YouTube channel is Dr.Jen777, DRJEN 777, or you could just put Dr. Jennifer Hastings and you'll get to see a couple of the segments that I've actually taken the time to upload on YouTube. You could always just message me or email me. Yeah. And if you have any questions, I'm here to serve. Our goal is to get, along with you, and thank you for doing what you do, Roberto, because with your tools, we're able to more effectively reach millions. And I'm here to support whoever has a TV opportunity, whoever wants to figure out how to get a TV opportunity. I'm here to answer any questions so that we could serve millions.
Much love to you. Thanks so much for your time today. Appreciate you.
Thank you.